So you're thinking about solar.
which is awesome.
It really is.
Yeah.
But then it gets kind of complicated, right? Like, are solar batteries worth adding to the mix?
Yeah.
It's a whole other thing to figure out.
Yeah, definitely a good thing to look into.
We're going to break down the most important info, especially for you and what you're thinking about doing.
It's a big decision. Thinking about batteries, they change a lot, both with money and just how you, live with your power.
For sure. And it feels like there are so many questions. Like, how do they even work? What are the real benefits? What about cost? In the end, are they worth it? Let's start with the basics. How do solar batteries actually work?
Okay, so they take in the extra energy that your solar panels make when the sun's really beaming. Think about it. Your panels are working all day, but are you using all that power?
Right. Probably not.
Exactly. So instead of just sending that power back to the grid, a battery will hold on to it so you can use it later.
So it's like a backup tank ready to go.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. But what does that look like, practically? For me, what's the impact on something like my electricity bill?
That's where it gets interesting. You're kind of shifting when you use energy. So instead of pulling power from the grid when it's expensive, you're using the power you've stored up.
From my solar panels?
Yes. So you buy less from the utility company, which equals lower bills every month.
Okay, now you're talking my language.
Yeah.
Saving money is always good. But besides the money part, what about energy independence? How does a solar battery give me more of that?
Oh, it's a big one. Imagine, relying less on that grid, especially when things are unpredictable, right? Power outage, boom. Lights stay on because you have your own energy reserve.
No more searching for candles in the dark. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be real for a sec. What about cost?
Yeah, it is a big investment. It's going to depend on a bunch of stuff, but it's not just about that upfront cost. Got to think about the savings over time.
So it's more of a long-term thing, not a quick fix. How long until I break even? What factors into that?
It's called the payback period, which is how long until your savings equal out that initial cost. Usually it's about 8 to 12 years. But that can change based on, how much energy you use, if there are government incentives, even your electricity rates play a role.
So if my electricity rates are already high, would that mean a faster payback?
Exactly. Higher rates, switching to solar and a battery, big savings, faster payback. And yeah, don't forget those incentives. They can really change the game.
Like that solar homes program we saw in the article from Australia. Those rebates seem amazing. Okay, so say I like the idea. How do I know what size battery is right? Is there like a one-size-fits-all?
Unfortunately, no. Working with a good solar installer is key here. They look at how much energy you use, how many appliances you have, all of it, and they figure out what's best for you.
Like if I only wanted to run essential things during an outage versus my whole house.
Exactly. And there are different sizes. A smaller battery, maybe 5 kilowatt hours, might be enough for a few essentials for a few hours, but bigger ones, like 10 kilowatt hours or more, those could keep your whole house going much longer.
Got it. So small for backup, bigger for more independence. This is making so much more sense. But there's this one thing I'm super curious about. Virtual power plants. What are those and how do they work with solar batteries? It's like straight out of a sci-fi movie, right?
It does sound kind of futuristic, but it's a really neat idea and it's happening now. Basically, picture a whole network of homes, all with solar batteries, all working together, like a team. That's a VPP.
Okay, so instead of just my house being more independent, I'm part of this bigger thing. How does that actually work, though?
So these batteries are connected, but virtually, and that lets them share power with the grid when it's under a lot of stress. Imagine a huge heat wave, everyone's blasting their AC.
The grid's going to feel that for sure.
Exactly. With a VPP, your battery could actually send some of its stored energy back to the grid, and that helps to balance everything out.
So it's like my battery is part of this giant energy sharing program. And I'm guessing there's something in it for me, right? Not just helping the grid.
You got it. Lots of energy companies have incentives now, or even payments for people who are part of VPPs. So they get the extra power when they need it most, and you get rewarded for being part of that more stable grid. Everybody wins.
That is so cool. So I could be saving on my own bills, but also potentially making money by helping the grid out.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But let's shift gears a little bit, talk about the installation. What can someone expect when they actually go for it, get a solar battery installed in their home?
Honestly, it's more straightforward than people might think. Once you've done your research, you pick a good installer, and usually they'll want to do a site visit.
To scope things out
Yep,
energy-wise?
they look at your roof, any solar panels you've already got, your electrical panel, all that, how much sun hits your roof, any shade, where the grid connection is, make sure they put the battery in the best spot, and that everything works together nicely.
It's like a custom-designed energy system just for my house. So it's not like buying, I don't know, a toaster just off the shelf.
Nope, not at all. They help you pick the right size battery, the right type, all based on your needs, your budget. And they handle all the technical stuff too, making sure it's compatible, designed right. You're getting what you pay for.
That is reassuring. What about the actual installation day, though? Am I looking at a huge construction project happening at my house?
Not usually. It's actually pretty fast most of the time. They'll have a qualified team of electricians. They do all the connecting, the wiring, make sure it's all hooked up to your home's grid safely. It's usually done in a day or two, Mac.
Oh, okay. That's not bad at all. I was picturing like weeks of work.
Yeah.
All right, so batteries in is connected. What about the learning curve, though? Is it hard to actually use a solar battery system?
Most systems these days are super user-friendly. A lot of them come with apps for your phone, or you can see everything online like a dashboard. You can watch how much energy you're using, see your savings, even control some stuff remotely, all from the app.
That's amazing. See, and now I'm going to get obsessed with tracking all my energy usage.
Mhm.
Okay, but what about maintenance? Are solar batteries high maintenance or more like set it and forget it?
Definitely on the lower maintenance side, for sure. Not like old batteries. These are designed to be pretty self-sufficient.
So no need to learn about battery care and all that.
Not really. It is still smart to have them checked out every so often by a pro, just to make sure things are good, catch anything early if there's a problem, like a checkup, but for your home energy.
Preventative care, always a good idea. We've talked a lot about the good stuff with solar batteries, but like anything, there's got to be some downsides, right?
Yeah.
What are some challenges people should know?
You're right, gotta keep it real. Like we said before, that upfront cost is a lot for people. Even with the savings later on, it needs to make sense for your money situation.
And the incentives help, but yeah, it's still a big decision.
For sure. Another thing is space. Solar batteries, they're not tiny. You got to have a good spot for it, whether that's a garage, basement, wherever. If your space is limited, got to think about that.
Right, can't just stick it in a closet. All right, so what about how long these batteries last? Tech changes so fast. Is there a chance my brand new battery will be obsolete in a couple years?
That's a good point. The good news is solar batteries are made to last like a decade or more. And yeah, tech improves, but that doesn't mean yours just stops working.
It's like new phones come out, but my old phone still makes calls.
Exactly. Plus, as tech gets better, usually the price comes down, which is better for everyone in the long run.
So I might pay less for even better tech later on. Okay, that makes me feel better about things changing so fast. All right, we've covered costs, installation, maintenance, but the big question is a solar battery right for me?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is. It's like, how do I know if this is the missing piece I need? So who are these batteries really good for? Who should be thinking hard about this?
I'd say if you want to be more energy independent, like really in control, and you already have solar panels, a battery just makes that even better, you know? It's not just making clean energy, it's about using it when you decide.
Like taking it to the next level.
Exactly.
So it's perfect for people who want that self-sufficiency, being ready if the grid goes down. What about people who don't have solar yet? Can you even get a battery without panels?
Oh, yeah, totally. Technically, you could power a battery just from the grid, but
But that kind of defeats the purpose.
yeah, usually it wouldn't make much sense money-wise or for the environment. It'd be like, I don't know, having a backup generator, but it runs on like gasoline or something. You want that clean source.
Totally. So solar and battery, that's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, what is the environmental impact here? Good for the planet.
Oh, huge plus for the environment. So you're storing energy that would have been lost otherwise, right? That means less fossil fuels, smaller carbon footprint. And battery tech is always getting better, more recyclable.
So good for the planet. Good for my wallet, potentially.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, we've covered a ton today. If there was just one thing for listeners to remember, what would it be?
I want people to feel like they can actually make a decision, a good one. We've gone over a lot, so now you can talk to installers, compare things, all that, and you'll actually know what's going on.
It's about taking charge, right? Not just with your energy, but like being part of how things are changing. You know, we've talked about the practical stuff, costs, being independent, helping the environment. But there's also something kind of satisfying, I guess, about using clean energy for your life.
Yeah, it's like you're part of something bigger. you're doing something good for the future.
That's a great way to put it. Well, there you have it, our deep dive into solar batteries. Hope you all found it helpful. Remember, the future of energy, it's kind of up to all of us, right?
To a brighter future.
Absolutely. We'll see you next time, everyone. Keep learning, keep those energy-saving ideas coming.